In 1998, the Labour government announced the launch of a community regeneration initiative, which aimed to dramatically improve some of the most deprived neighbourhoods in England over a 10-year period.
There are 39 NDCs, New Deal for Communities, dotted all over the country, and Thornhill in Southampton was one of those areas selected to be an NDC.
After extensive consultation to understand the extent of the issues facing the community, Thornhill was successfully awarded funding, and the Thornhill NDC partnership was set up in 2001. It successfully rebranded in 2005 to become Thornhill Plus U. Despite the strong sense of community and pride evident amongst residents, Thornhill was in desperate need of a boost to improve almost every other aspect of the neighbourhood.
Became a very dark place in the 70s and 80s, and I think it needed a pick-me-up, a dose of tonic, and I think actually that's what Thornhill Plus U did.
The community spirit is a lot better. 10 years ago there wasn't any community spirit.
If you want to get involved, you can here, and there's a way of doing that. There's a focus for that, which is Thornhill Plus U.
It was identified from the outset that the community needed to play an integral part in all of the decision-making.
The community were there right at the very beginning of it. I can remember an elderly lady very excited about the fact that they'd been invited to a barbecue and their views were important. And I think that crystallised what Thornhill Plus U was right at the very beginning.
We know what we need. People coming in from outside think they know what we need, but they don't. So to involve the whole community has been brilliant.
One of the key aims of the programme was to bring together all elements of the community and to engage and empower residents. A number of community initiatives were set up with this in mind. They included the Festival of Fun, Thornhill Carnival Training and Motivate Thornhill, who subsequently set up the Thornhill in Bloom and Thornhill Community Voices initiatives. A number of community projects were funded by an innovative resident-led scheme called the Community Chest.
Community Chest is a pot of money put aside by Thornhill Plus U to go towards local projects and local resident-led initiatives that is distributed based on a panel of local residents deciding what the greatest need is or what's most relevant for this community.
Among the projects to benefit from Community Chest funding is the Saturday Club, run by Chris Holland.
I have children 5 to 12-year-olds. For me, it keeps the children off the streets and it shows them that there's another route, that they don't have to hang around the streets and they don't have to go shopping with their mums on Saturday morning. They can come in, have lots of fun.
Rainbow Tots, based at Thornhill Baptist Church, is another project helped by the Community Chest.
We were very, very fortunate, very thankful for Thornhill Plus U, the Community Chest, who gave us the grant.
As well as money for new mats and play equipment, Rainbow Tots were also given a grant to develop an outside play area.
Looks very, very good. We're very pleased with it. And we're looking forward to next spring, summer, when we can get outside.
Duncan House is a member of the Friends of Hinkler Green group and explains the thinking behind the Peace Garden.
We wanted to create an area that was quieter, more peaceful, more tranquil, and lots of benches for elderly people to sit down.
The new tranquil space has proved to be extremely popular, and in 2010, Hinkler Green gained Green Flag status as a result of the joint work of residents and council workers. The Natterbox was already a valuable part of the community, but Thornhill Plus U has helped it to develop as a community facility and has supported residents to take greater responsibility in the management of it.
We offer rooms for hire, debt advice, benefit advice, and then people just come in and we signpost them and help them with any queries they've got. A lot of people don't have the confidence to do things for themselves and they come in and we sort of help them through it.
People drop in, have a cup of tea, have a chat. That's why it's called the Natterbox, because we all have a good old natter.
The community centre will soon be moving into new premises in the newly developed Hinkler Place. Crime and antisocial behaviour has historically been a major issue in Thornhill, But since 2001, reported crime has fallen to such an extent that it is now one of the lowest crime areas in Southampton. One of the key elements in achieving this has been the funding of additional police community support officers. These additional posts have since been mainstreamed by Hampshire Constabulary, ensuring Thornhill has a dedicated safer neighbourhood team, providing continued reassurance for residents.
It's wonderful because there is a genuine reduction in crime as well as a reduction in fear of crime, which is also equally as important.
It's like a broken window effect. When there's one broken window, people tend to not take pride in where they live, but where it is tidy and it's lovely, which I've definitely seen over the last 3 years, it definitely makes a difference, and people kind of, they stick to that and they'll hopefully kind of take pride in it.
A lot of money and effort has gone in from Thornhill Plus U.
Another key factor in reducing crime has been the neighbourhood warden scheme.
My idea of a neighbourhood warden is somebody who is an old-fashioned good neighbour. We look after the frail, the vulnerable, victims of crime. If anybody needs something doing for them and they haven't got any family around, we would do that. We liaise with the local authority and people like Thornhill Plus U. Today we're up at the Travellers site, and what are we doing? We're trying to unblock drains. Otis is one of the Future Jobs Fund apprentices, and I think he's had a bit of a rude start. one minute he's staining fences, next minute he's clearing drains. So over this side of the city, they certainly do get involved in everything.
They're an absolutely invaluable commodity, they really are.
They affect people's lives every single day, which is something special. But the people from Thornhill Plus U do that as well.
The health and well-being of Thornhill residents was a key area that required attention. One of the most successful projects has been the participatory budgeting initiative that gives local residents the power to allocate funds to health projects of their choice. The funding of projects through this initiative is provided by the NHS in return for the money Thornhill Plus U invested in the build of the Thornhill Centre for Healthy Living.
We put on a venue where we all congregate in one place. People that apply for the grants, they do a little presentation and the residents sit and vote, and the ones with the higher votes, they get their grants until the money runs out. We've found that when they pick the projects, when they go to BB, they pick the ones that are dear to their heart because they themselves have the issues.
The Thornhill Health and Wellbeing Project has been an invaluable resource, encouraging residents to live a healthier lifestyle.
It came out of the health working group. Basically, it's to work with all the residents around health and wellbeing. So we have Tai Chi groups, we have chair exercise groups, we do a Thursday group which is for hard to reach people with disabilities, and it gives them access to go to a group, actually have health and wellbeing advice. We do healthy eating with them. We take them to various activities off the estate, which is quite important. Alongside that, we also do a weight reduction group and we do smoking cessation.
Around 90% of people involved in health projects felt they had gained new skills because of it. And just under 50% of people surveyed said they felt health was a main area where Thornhill Plus U had improved their lives. Children and young people are integral to the future success of Thornhill, and a number of initiatives targeted at these groups were identified as being essential. Among the groups to receive funding through the Thornhill Plus U Community Chest were the Thornhill Girl Guides.
We started a new guide company here because there was nothing in Thornhill about 3 years ago, and the Thornhill Plus U has had a major impact on us because the camp equipment we were handed over from a pack that had closed years ago was the sort of stuff I used when I was a guide here, so it was very historic. So we went to the Thornhill Plus U for some funding to help get some new equipment basically, which enables all the girls here to go away under canvas every year, which obviously is fantastic because it gets the girls outdoors, outdoor activities, cooking outdoors, lots of other things that particularly living in Thornhill they wouldn't necessarily get the opportunities to do.
Smile for the camera, please.
The Scout group here has recently reopened, so I think it's all because of the whole vibe in Thornhill, to be quite honest, which is I think, as it stems from the Thornhill Plus U. It's trying to get everybody back out in the community.
Impact, based at the East Point Centre, has been responsible for a number of projects aimed at young people, and they've adjusted their work throughout the programme to best suit the young people and their families.
It's far more targeted at young people who are socially excluded rather than behaviourally excluded from school, although they do have issues around behaviour. And we support both the young people, their siblings and their parents. So we have a family support worker who engages with parents to help them with any issues that they have. We've been really successful in building self-esteem, building self-confidence, giving young people opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have.
No Limits also received financial help to develop its important work with young people into the Thornhill area.
Well, No Limits is the youth information and advice and counselling service for young people between the ages of 11 to 25. Thornhill Plus U has helped No Limits in regards to giving us funding and support in regards to going out and working with young people. And the issues that we've been covering have been around sexual health, substance misuse and looking out for themselves and for others. It's about giving them the awareness and information that they need to make positive choices.
Badger believes that the work being done has made a real difference.
I'm lucky enough that I've been to many different environments in Thornhill. So I've seen the young people at youth clubs, on the street, in their schools, and then I'm lucky enough to have seen some of these young people enrolling in college over the last couple of weeks. So for me, it's been a personal journey where I've seen young people really be in one set of circumstances and take their lives and move it and become positive members of their community and looking to do some positive things with their lives.
Among the initiatives aimed at younger children and their families is the Sure Start Children's Centre.
It's a government programme that aims to ensure that every child has the best start in life, and this is achieved through working in partnership with a multitude of agencies from health, early years and care, childcare, play in one place, so families don't have to go and see their health visitor in one place and go and play somewhere else. It's all in one place, which makes life so much easier for families.
Sure Start Thornhill has a particular focus on disadvantaged under-5s, and Thornhill Plus U has been proud to contribute to the success of this Southampton City Council-run project.
Our statistics show that we're actually reaching 78% of families with children under 5 in the area.
Key to ensuring a lasting change in Thornhill is the need for increased educational achievement and employment opportunities for residents.
I went to one of the primary schools, and apart from the teachers being great, nothing else was very good about it. And now you go in there and it's what a primary school should be, so I'm really pleased about that kind of thing.
As well as significant funds to improve facilities, environments and buildings in Thornhill's 3 primary schools, there was also a big focus on specialist staff.
Thornhill Plus U has done an enormous amount for this school. It wouldn't be the place it is today without the funding and financial help from Thornhill Plus U. There's 3 main areas where they've supported. One in supporting additional staff. We had an additional teacher to enable planning, preparation and assessment for all the teachers, and coaching staff for PE and games, and that has meant that our PE and games in the school has risen to standards way beyond where it was before, and we've won awards and team cups and we've been in the paper, etc. Been very successful. We also had ICT technician and ELSA assistants as well, that's emotional literacy support assistants.
There was 2 posts funded in each of the primary schools, and these staff were to deal with young people that had significant issues within their lives and not managing to stay at school, and it's made a heck of a difference to these young people and also to their families as well.
The Skills Centre benefited by Thornhill Plus U funding and held vocational courses for young people to gain practical skills and qualifications and enhance their career prospects. Another key project was the Working Links initiative.
Working Links was a programme that was delivered in Thornhill for 2.5 years. I was fortunate to work on that contract as an employee of Working Links. It literally just helped people between the ages of 16 and 60 to return to the workplace for whatever reason that you'd been unemployed for any length of time, and it supported you to gain new skills, develop your confidence, understand how to fill in an application form, write CVs and manage interview processes.
The initiative was an unqualified success.
It actually got 178 people back into work during the 2.5-year programme, and I'd say about 50% of those were sustained, what we call sustained employment, whereby which they're in employment 3 months after their start date.
The improvement to the living and built environment in Thornhill has been huge. One of the projects funded was the Better Neighbourhood Scheme, in conjunction with Southampton City Council. This involved dramatically improving the external environment of the 88 walk-up blocks in Thornhill, including replacing paths and paving stones. This dovetailed nicely with the street scene project that improved stretches of roads and introduced traffic calming measures, as well as other environmental changes.
Just improving the look of the area makes people want to respect the area more.
I think that our estate is a much nicer, vibrant place to live.
Community involvement in the transformation was paramount, and local resident Wendy Hill's oldest child was actively involved.
And when we did the outside project for the flats, he actually planted a tree not far from here. So, and it's really nice because that's given him a bit of pride, because he always says, "Where's my tree? Can I go and see my tree?" And it's nice because I like to think that he'll grow up and not sort of abuse where he lives, and he'll have a bit of pride where he lives and looks after where he lives. So hopefully the next generation can carry on the work that's been started.
Hinkler Green and 7 other play areas also had a major overhaul as part of the Playways project, which made essential upgrades or installed new equipment for families with young children to enjoy for generations to come. Hinkler Green is also now home to a long-petitioned for skate park and multi-use games area that has transformed the location.
Hinkler Green looks nothing like it did look, and when I think back to when I was a child, it's hugely, hugly different.
Lots of people use them now, so they've got places to hang around, and it's generally just been like made a bit nicer, like plants put in, and like it's just been cleaned up a lot.
The Thornhill Tidy team have also played a major part in keeping the area clean and tidy through their actions and active education of residents.
We've got one of the cleanest and tidiest estates, which makes a massive difference about how you feel about living there and how you feel about the other people who live there.
In addition to external improvements, there is also a big focus on internal living conditions through the Better Homes scheme. Over 2,000 council homes in Thornhill received extensive refurbishment.
It's touched the most individual lives in comparison to some of our projects that are very sort of drilled down to specific initiatives. This one was very overarching, but it was about kitchens and bathrooms and the decor that went alongside that, including the flooring, non-slip flooring, so that we reduced the hip accidents that ended up at A&E, young children slipping out of the bath and hurting themselves. So it was about a whole package that really changed people's homes and their lives.
My kitchen was the original one that was built in 1950, but now they're all modern. All the plasterwork's been done, new baths, tiles, absolutely fantastic.
Construction on new homes and facilities for the community is well underway, and the centrepiece of the new work is the stunning redevelopment of Hinkler Parade, to be known as Hinkler Place, being built by Barratt Homes in consultation with Southampton City Council, First Wessex and Thornhill Plus U.
106 new homes of mixed tenure, that's a fantastic opportunity for this community. Very desperately needed decent homes to a standard that accommodate large families of 3 and 4 children, so they've got space to grow, develop and mature within, and also to raise people's aspirations because their homes, you know, meet a standard of living that they deserve.
The development will include a library, the local housing office and the Natterbox Community Centre, which will house many of the resident-led projects that Thornhill Plus U has been instrumental in establishing. Another exciting development is the new East Point Conference Centre, complete with state-of-the-art facilities.
The East Point Centre, just a fantastic opportunity. It's a gateway to the city on the east side, straight off the M27 there, to have a beautiful building that provides a service for the whole city as well, that conference facility that everybody can use, but also with 5 community rooms designated just for community use within that building.
2011 marks the end of the 10-year New Deal for Communities funding. So what now for Thornhill? Well, a succession strategy is already in place, looking to partners to help ensure a guaranteed brighter future for Thornhill, via the new charity Plus You Limited.
We always believed that this programme was a 10-year kickstart, pump prime funding, to move on what should be a 20, 30-year generational change. So Plus You Limited's now got to pick up that gauntlet and run with that now, continuing to impact on the change that's already happened and just make things better and better. I think it's about also fostering that independence so the community can do it for themselves and stand on their own, so that they can be then the conduit between themselves and the service providers, so they can change things for good forever.
I do think there's going to be a lasting change. I think people's attitudes to Thornhill's changed. I think local community members have been empowered by the work of Thornhill Plus You.
The community as a whole has more aspirations.
And the atmosphere has changed. You don't see people hanging around street corners. You don't see abandoned vehicles all over the place.
More things to do for young people, there's more clubs, parks, and the area is just generally nicer and cleaner.
I think if you treat people appropriately, then they are going to grow, they are going to aspire to different things, because they're going to then believe that they can have them.
To see everything come together has been a real pleasure, and I'm really glad I got involved.
Those of us who live here are quite proud that we live here, and through the various community projects and things that have been funded, people have connected and realised that their neighbours and people around aren't as bad as they thought they were. And there's a lot more resident-led and resident-sustained groups and initiatives that will carry on after Thornhill Plus You because of the work they've done. So, you know, kitchens will get grimy again, and maybe street furniture will get old and tatty and need replacing, but I hope that sense of community will carry on.